Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and I'm going to start the much vaulted and talked about Mercury 4. The way I'm going to approach this project then is, just in case you don't know, the fuselage is built, the wings are mostly built and the tail feathers aren't. So what I'm going to do is to start with the tail feathers, and I'm going to start with the tail plane, and I'm going to start with the main spar of the tail plane. There we go, 1/4 inch sheet. It's exactly, let me bend you down a sec. Pardon me, it's exactly 36 inches, the main spar. And unfortunately the printout of the plan was a little bit short at the bottom, and I've only got a little tiny smidgen of the main spar, but it doesn't matter because all it is a tapered flat bottom and then tapered down. So I'm going to just simply measure the cutouts in the ribs to get the required depth at the center section. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to mark up this main spar and just knife it out. Simple as that. And I've got a nice cocoa to help me on my way. It occurs to me, chaps, some of you might not know how to mark ribs out, so what I've done is to pinprick them through at the salient points and on the curves, and then I used a fine tip felt pen just to join up the dots. But of course these are spaced out wider than the sheet, so how did I do it? How did I see through the sheet? So all you do is oil it, in this case all I did was to spray it with WD-40, and it makes it transparent. As you can see, look, you can see the ribs of the tail plane underneath there, look. It makes it transparent enough, and it slowly dries out and goes sort of opaque again. But now I've got this set of ribs, I can cut them out and then just cut round each rib with a blade, so then I'll end up with 2 sets. So there we are. I'm going to go and cut these out, trace out the next lot, and I should get them all out of one sheet easily. There we go. Just steam this over the kettle, so I'm pinning it down quickly before it has a chance to lose its elasticity. There we are. Maybe one in there. Let's pull it back. Get the rib in. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Okay, I've got a main spar. That will have to go down first. Let's just put a couple of pins either side, then we can start offering up some ribs. I am expecting to have to modify it a little bit here and there to get it all to fit together. This is no laser cut kit, don't forget. This is a hand cut kit over, just the plan. Okay, so what I've got is these parts here. That's a wingtip, that is one of those, it's another wingtip, is that one of those? That's upside down. That goes on there. That goes somewhere like that. T8, T5, T7. There we are. What about that then? There's a kit of parts. Now I've got to put the elevator in, but I'm going to build the whole structure and then cut where the elevators go and put in every false lead and the trailing edge for the flying surfaces. So let's get on with putting it all together. What I'm doing, I'm just testing the size of the ribs before I commit to gluing in the circumference, because I want to make sure now's the time to make little alterations to everything. A bit tight, that one. That's a good fit. So I'm going to play with this and start gluing it up, and I'll come back to you when I've got it half glued up or something. All right, guys? I've decided for this part of the build I'm just going to unglue each piece and work my way around. I think it's going to be easiest, more than dismantle the whole thing again. So that's what I'm going to do. Haven't decided yet exactly where I'm going to put the elevators and exactly how I'm going to do them, but I'm sure it'll sort of work itself out as I go. There's absolutely no rush to do this job, so I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to enjoy it, every piece. This tailplane is going to look amazing because it's got no spar on the top, so the whole top is just going to be one ribbed effect. It is going to look absolutely amazing. I'm going to spend a lovely evening just fixing this in and leaving it to dry overnight, and then tomorrow I can unpin it and admire it, because you don't get an aeroplane built by admiring it, do you? But that's what we do, isn't it? That's what I do anyway. Got to do little admiration bits. Now you might be wondering, how am I getting these ribs so upright? The answer is probably not. So what I'm going to use, I just use one of these. It's not imperative, not absolutely imperative they're upright, but pop that in there. Pop that on there. Lining the rib holes up as I go. Let's not go through it, so I'm going to put a bit of scrap wood there just to hold that tight against the leading edge. Have a pin in there just to make sure it's not going to move. That's better. And that's all pinned down now. Okay, now I'm going to continue putting the ribs in, and won't take long to put this lot together, I don't think. And that, guys, just about finishes the gluing up to now for the bits we've got cut out. So that was fun. So there we are. So we'll let that set off and then we'll lift it from the board. If you're enjoying the start of this one, hit the little subscribe button down below. It costs nothing to subscribe, and if you want to hit the bell button as well, then you get notified of future videos, especially in this little series if this is what you're interested in. I think it's great. I was saying to Adam, Model Aviator, he commented on a little update video I put on for members, update photo for members, that, you know, it was looking good, and it made me stop and think. And do you know what, it is almost like I have sitting beside me here the original builder of the fuselage and wings. It's almost like I'm standing in his shoes, certainly following in his footsteps. Very strange sort of feeling. Yeah, I do have the odd experience. So the thing is, it does feel odd. So, you know, it's beginning to get a little bit extra special, I've got to be honest. Yeah, really enjoying it. Okay, see you in a moment. Cheers. Okay, the excitement mounts. I've pulled out most of the pins, just one more to go. See, look at that. So let's release it from the plastic. This is that moment, guys. Oh, listen. Oh, and there we have it. One tailplane. Look at that. Look at that. Just checking the joints really, just looking for any untoward gaps, etc. Nothing too untoward, I don't think. Let's just put this to one side and have a look at the fin and rudder. Okay guys, I've got oh hang on, I'm just watching Jeff in Lower Alabama's live stream from last night. Just pause it off there. Okay, so I've got a few components made up for the fin and rudder. I just realised I made a mistake in cutting the slots at the top. They're too thin or too big for the uprights. That's Jeff's fault. I was listening to him and I used the wrong piece of wood to set it. Never mind. So what I've done is I've got these bits cut, the leading edge laminated, and the trailing edge for the fin and the leading edge for the rudder made up. You see the shape of it. And I've cut out some parts, these are my own bits, to slot together for the back. Now I've got to glue these together, the outside. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to build this because it's tapered. I'm probably thinking I'll glue these pieces together and then stick them onto this piece. Okay guys, this is fun. I've had to come up with an idea on how to make this because of the angles. I can't lay it flat, so I'm sort of building it in my hand. So I've done the rudder. That looks impressive, doesn't it? All will be revealed as soon. But anyway, that's the rudder. The fin, to get this angle, I've cut a piece of foam board, so I'm just going to glue that in there like that. I've marked a centre line, so by putting it over the edge like this and pushing that up into its slot and just getting that there, I can just glue that in here at the top, and it'd be delicate of course, but that'll set the angle for the R1, this long piece. So I'm just going to CA it and then flood it with white glue around. So so here we go. You've just seen me practice. Just going to push that in and see how it goes. Oh, stuck my hands, but that's okay. Actually, I suppose the other important thing is to make sure it's sort of upright. could be mildly important. A bit late now, but let's have a look. As it happens, that's pretty much spot on. With a bit of luck. Okay. Welcome back guys. I've glued these in vertically with it all standing upright. I'm just laying it down for this, what would be the hinge post for the rudder. That's a good old soaking, alright. Check its centre. There. There we are. It's as quick as that. And there's also a big piece at the bottom here, 1/16 that fits over the top of the tailplane. The other thing I thought I would do is I've cut a new bit for that. I did originally have that piece, but I think I might glue it on there, so I've got an extra thick bit because I've got to take so much wood out of there to get it to hinge. I can't take wood out that's not there, so I'm going to glue that on there like that, and that will give me the extra wood I need. Okay guys, you rejoin me. I've jigged up the centre lines of all three pieces, sat the rudder in place and jigged that up, and I've sliced up some 1/16 balsa And I've just cut one leading edge angle there. That has to go under there like that, and then over the top and down onto the other side. And this piece of wood I've got is actually just, I'm going to move it up a little bit just so I can fit it in. It's just going to be about there. So what I thought I might do is to actually just CA the front end in, cut the angle at the back, and then just glue the rest in. Okay, so now I can put some glue under here, and that will glue it all together, and then when it's dry I'll just saw through this and I'll have my rudder. I'll probably have to, because it's obviously a adaptation, run some 1/16 up so as it's all one thickness, otherwise it's going to drop down. Same with there, just cut some pieces to go between these are called the ribs. Okay, so I'll carry on with these and I'll see you in a minute. So far so good. I've put on the ribs, as they call them, and I've added some balsa wood between them because these ribs are higher than the hinge post. So, and you'll see a gap there. That's because the open bit that you see is going to be the tapered bit, so it's going to actually be tapered to this line here. So yeah, that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'm going to leave the bottom bit for now because I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. Also, I'm going to put a piece of wood over the top, and this will cover up this messy area and bring it up to the same height as this. I'll let that dry, turn it over, and sort of support it up like I have done, and get the other strips on. So yeah, really happy with that, guys. So I'm thinking this may well be the end of part one, the tail feathers. They're virtually built, and I should just finish this off at my leisure and do the little fiddly bits, and we'll get on with the next part. If you've enjoyed the build up to now, hit the little thumbs up button, and if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, but it does help the channel. At the moment I'm currently going in about 70% of people who watch are subscribed. There's no reason not to subscribe, but it does help the channel. And if you want to check out the join button down below, that's most welcome too. Brilliant. Okay, thank you. Cheers. I shall shut this. I'm going to let that dry for a couple of hours, and I'm going to come back and probably do a bit more tonight before I go to bed, because that's what I do. And in doing it that way, do you know what? I get on quite quickly with models, and the reason is, as you know, if you build models, then it takes time for glue to dry, but doesn't take 24 hours. So like every 4 or 5 hours you can come back and do another lot, come back and do another lot, so you can do other stuff in between, and then come back and do some gluing right up till, you know, you can't keep your eyes open, and then you go to bed, get up in the morning, do a bit of gluing, and then go about your business for 4 or 5 hours, do some more gluing, do some more, and then it gets, you know, really gets on really quick. I always say try and do at least one thing, at least something to your airframe. This is a bit of bonus video, isn't it, for the end? Just try and do at least one thing to your model every single day. If you miss one day, then you'll miss a week, okay? And then the model grinds to a halt and you forget where you were. What I do, if I should miss one day, which is very rare, I'll sort of punish myself next day by doing twice the amount, or even 3 times the amount, to teach me a lesson. Anyway, so yeah, okay, see you in the next video. Cheers guys, bye.